fortified with something. It can be neutral grain, it can be neutral grape, and then there has to be some member of the Artemisia family. That's a wormwood herb or an Artemisia herb that's used in the production of European styles of vermouth. In the United States, we do not have those same regulations, especially when it comes to Artemisia. So wormwood, as we know, and this is a whole other seminar, was outlawed. You couldn't use it in the United States because of absinthe. Do you guys know why you can't get in or use absinthe in the United States up until 2008? Do you guys know why that all happened? Just out of curiosity? Thujon. I mean, basically the French absinthe industry and the French wine industry came at odds over how the market was being split, because the French wine industry got just decimated by phylloxera in the 1860s, and they lost a ton of market share. And so they decided to attack the American market and make absinthe illegal in the United States, and they succeeded in doing it. But at the same time, they also cut the knees off of any kind of producer that wanted to use wormwood inside the United States. Now, there's different kinds of wormwood. There's Artemisia pontica, which is most prevalently used in Italian vermouths. And then there's Artemisia absinthium, which is, you see that in a lot of French styles. But the difference between the two is fairly nominal. And if you've ever isolated the flavor of wormwood, you'll understand that it has two very distinct characteristics. The aromatics in wormwood is totally heavenly. You want to grab, do you have Dolin Blanc back there? Dolin Blanc is a good representation of just a very neutral sweet white with this really heavenly aromatic. Have you all had a chance to taste Dolin Blanc before? It's beautiful. What a beautiful aperitif. They're just gorgeous. But that's a really good representation of a very subtle wormwood aromatic. But on the flip side of that, if you've ever over-macerated wormwood, it tastes like you're licking, the back hair off the devil. It is the most bitter experience you will have in your entire life. You ever tasted Amaro Sibilla? Yeah, it's like that, except further down into the bitter darkness. So there are also qualities with wormwood that aren't very pleasant, but the European producers, found a way to kind of express the aromatics, but also leave the bitter aspect out of it. Now in the United States, in order for us to use wormwood, it has to go through Thujon testing, which is an added cost. It's a little extra time. And so, when Imbue started, since it was essentially started amongst three friends, let's say you guys got together, bought a couple barrels of wine, and made vermouth out of it, threw it in a bottle, and see if the world liked it, essentially what we did. We didn't have the money to put it through Thujon testing. So we played around with wormwood, we experimented with it, and we decided that if we're going to make vermouth in the United States, we were going to take the path of least resistance, and we weren't going to use it. We can use it. I mean, something might come out in the future where we use wormwood, but at this point, we've chosen not to. So the bittersweet, have you guys had a chance to taste the bittersweet? Is that what you have in your glass, or is it?
That's what we have.
We will taste them.
This is the
Yeah, we just tasted the.
Cool. So the bittersweet is our flagship. So that's the first thing that we released. We released it in 2010. We made 110 cases just to see if people would like it. We sold it in like 4 months. And then from there we built 700 cases in 2011, and then last year we did 1,500 cases. So we're growing pretty rapidly, but as we grow, we're also kind of dialing in how we homogenize these flavor profiles. So building a vermouth in Oregon, we wanted to make sure that we could apply the philosophies of the origin of vermouth to the Oregon countryside. So we looked at what if vermouth didn't exist anywhere else, and we were going to recreate it in Oregon. What would it look like? Well, we would start with the most abundant white grape that we had, and that's Pinot Gris. It's everywhere. It's still not as, it's not in as high production as things like Chardonnay and